Okay.
at all. So why are you looking at text
I
messages?
just realized that you texted me 16 minutes ago, and I hadn't realized that you had texted me.
Well, I did, and it dinged, and I heard it ding from like the other room.
Okay, so we got off track.
We do that a lot.
So anyway, I didn't really want to unpack it all that much because it was a new idea. I just thought I'd share it with you because I was really proud of the title of the concept, the triple penetration, and how it
I'm gonna.
alliterates and speaks to passion, power, and pussy.
I'm might use that later.
Okay, moving on.
Okay.
So, we've been fighting a lot.
Yeah, we have.
Oh my gosh, what's that been about?
The last 2 weeks have been rough.
Yeah.
We have not gotten along very well. So I've been working a lot. It's harvest season, and it's a really busy time of the year. It's the end of the year, so we're all burnt out. We're It's just ridiculously crazy. And then I'm not home very much, and that upsets you because I'm not home very much. And
Yep.
so
Yep.
you get frustrated, take it out on me. And me, I'm thinking in the back of my head, what the fuck do you do all day, woman? Why is this so hard? I don't say that though because that would not be good.
No, it wouldn't.
But
Would not be beneficial.
but I think that sometimes, and I know, and I'm not saying you don't do stuff. I know you are very busy. You work very hard, but but yeah, it's been very. Why don't you tell your side of it?
Well, I think I've been feeling like I was just lacking attention. And it wasn't even direct attention. It wasn't even engaging attention. I think it was just like presence. Like your presence has not been here. And so if I hear kids arguing or a knock at the door or the phone rings or whatever, I can't just get lost in writing or whatever because I have to just be aware for everything else. And it's extra mental chores that right now I don't want to make room for, but I know I have to at the same time because you're not here. And if I don't do it, then what? So yeah, that's been hard. And so because I'm not getting attention, I've just been complacent with negative attention that I've created. Like I've created some negative shitstorm that didn't really need to be. Okay, I don't want to say that because sometimes I feel like I backtrack a little bit and then I give you too much leniency and then you like, you know,
No, I don't.
slack a little bit.
And I would, from my perspective, I would disagree. And I brought this up before. I think that when you are frustrated, then you notice the things that I do or don't do. And you think I'm just sucking up doing things because you're angry. But I think that I do all those things all the time.
I think it could be both, that we're both right.
Yeah, maybe.
That maybe you don't do as much as you think you do, and maybe I don't see you do as much as you actually do.
It's possible. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
I like that compromise because otherwise it kind of feels like you're gaslighting me a little bit. No, really, and that's why I don't complain. And I wrote that to you in that note thing. I decided to, instead of texting him while he was out doing what he was doing in the fields, I started writing notes of all of the things that were just coming to mind and all of the things that I had brought up over the last few weeks that were suddenly an issue and needed resolution right now in like the thick of harvest. And that was one of the things that I kept writing down over and over was that I feel like I'm crazy for complaining because you always turn around and say like, no, and here's the things that I'm doing. And I'm like, you're kind of making me feel like I'm just like misperceiving everything.
I don't.
And so then I'm like, am I over dramatizing everything? Is my perception really that skewed? And then that leads me to question myself. And I've told you that before too. Sometimes you make me question myself, and then I don't know what to think about what I'm even observing. And so,
and I don't think.
and I know you don't do that intentionally. That's just how I am responding to it.
And I don't think that you're necessarily not being observant. I just think you're preoccupied with other things, that we pay attention to the things that are in our mind at the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are times when, yeah, I don't pay attention and I think things happen that don't happen because I'm not focused on that.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I'm not saying that you're crazy or that you're not aware. I'm just saying you're focused on something different. So you're not worried about that stuff. It's being taken care of and it's okay. And so you just don't focus on it.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to blame you for not observing those things. All I'm saying is that when you're not angry, you don't have focus on it, so you're not paying attention to that. And
you know what I noticed about that too is I wasn't seeing you at the same time that I was saying that I wasn't being seen. And just realizing that made me start kind of trying to have a Corey lens, which I will admit I put on way too late in the game, and then probably didn't adjust for Corey lens as much as I could have. But then it was more like, whatever, I'm just gonna, whatever, he'll be done when he's done, and then I can focus on what I need to focus on.
And it's good that you bring that up, because there are times when I don't agree with the way you handle things or the way you do things. And I listen to it, and sometimes it frustrates me. But at the same point in time, I wasn't in that situation.
Yeah.
So how can I judge you for the way you reacted? I might give you suggestions like, well, maybe we could have handled it a little differently. But at the same point in time, I can't get angry at you for handling it the way you did.
True. Because
I wasn't there. You know, and I think it brings to light some other, how we think differently, how we prioritize differently, and I don't think that's good or bad, it's just different.
Yeah.
And we have to acknowledge that we are different, and we do process things differently. We do deal with things differently, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to be understanding of that.
Yeah.
And not be frustrated or angry because we don't respond the way we think the other should, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You might be right.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm really good at just BSing one of the two.
Okay, and so we had a rough couple of weeks, and it was because I was not getting attention. And I mean, honestly, a lot of it was just because we weren't having that much sex.
Well, it's not like we didn't have sex.
We did, but it was like, it felt like it took forever to have sex.
What do you mean?
Like having to wait.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sometimes we can be spontaneous about it.
Yeah, it's not really spontaneous about it. We usually prime the pump
earlier,
and we're like, hey, you want to,
I don't know, but there was a diminished, and I had a visitor too, so.
Yeah.
I was, sensitive and emotional.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I'm not the only one that's going through this, though. I've had a lot of friends experience similar things, and it's like, we were talking about how, and then daylight savings came, and then it was like, we have entered the season of death overnight. And it just hit everybody. And I think there's just a lot of people that are hit by it every year, but it feels so much worse than the year before that we don't remember the year before. And I feel like that's how it is with me. I mean, do you think that? Like, I seem to go through a phase.
Every fall.
Every fall.
And but I understand that, though, I think it's, for us, we have like 6 to 9 months of chaos.
Yeah.
Through the summer.
Yeah.
And, it starts around planting time and it goes through harvest.
Yeah.
And we get to the end and we're both just burnt out.
Yeah.
My patience is not as much in the fall as it was earlier on in the year.
Well, and it's even more rushed for a lot of other people when you take into consideration that, they just got their kids back to school.
Yep.
And then the holidays
Yep.
are approaching. And then hunting season and shopping season and spending season. Really just thinking about all of that is chaotic enough to put a person in depression. And we're not even really a part of that kind of grind.
Mm-hmm.
But we're insulated in our own cyclical grind that creates just as much chaos. I don't know. I kind of liken it to it's something I have to go through every year. It's my reset.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm sure you go through something too, but it's not, you get bored and anxious and feel cooped up and want to do something. You need to see dirt.
Yep.
Smell alfalfa.
Oh, God, I love that smell.
And even the smell of manure in the breeze.
Yep.
Yeah. And so you go through something, but you're more agitated and anxious, whereas I'm more depressed.
But I like winter.
Yeah. For rest.
When fall is over, I'm ready. I'm ready for winter. The cold, the snow, just to have a break. But by February, I'm ready to get going again.
Which is incidentally when your birthday is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when your rebirth is programmed to begin.
Must be.
And see, I was born in the winter, so I usually kind of start tapering off in December.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit better. And then I get excited for the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're tired of the cold.
Because we're so tired of the cold. And
being cooped up in the house.
And the gray. And the dry, stale air.
Yeah.
And So yeah. But our passion stays nice and toasty.
Yes.
In the winter.
Yes.
Because we're kind of forced to spend more time with each other.
Yes.
Yeah, so we make use of that time.
Very much so.
Very diligent about that.
It's very cold, so we have to cuddle.
Yes, because two bodies next to one another do produce, such a great little furnace for one another.
It's true.
Yeah. So in kind of sticking with that same idea of, where I was feeling I was lacking attention, I think I over-dramatize how little time I get to spend with you, because when we do spend time with one another, we will sacrifice sleep to spend time with one another. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people won't even go that route. They have so many priorital needs that have to be met first, and if they break their routines, it's going to screw up everything they have planned. And people are such planned little people, and we're not like that. But it makes me think about the fact that sometimes I do worry, you're going to work so hard at sometimes that, I'm not going to get any of that passion.
What do you mean?
Well, you burn yourself out.
Oh, we're way past that, I think.
So you're burnt out, but you still reserve passion for me.
Yeah.
So do you not extend that kind of, not that particular form of passion, but do you not extend similar passion and energy to other people then to hold it back?
Yeah, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
You're just like, you get this minimal amount of energy from me because it's all on reserve for the folks at home.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's good. That's actually something that a lot of people don't do.
Contrary to what you might think.
Well, I don't really know what I think about how you are with other people when I'm not around. I imagine you give them the same kind of attention you give to me.
Oh, no.
No?
No.
Maybe we shouldn't talk about this publicly. You don't want to let people in on your secret. They think, but they still probably think they're getting all of your attention, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Should you do that with me?
No.
Fool me into thinking I'm getting your attention, but
No.
not really getting it?
No.
No? Time to come clean.
No,